This seems ominous, does it not? You tell me. So I was reading a guy following LinkedIn. He's definitely not a right-winger, but he writes for the Orange County Register. And I think in the old days, the Orange County Register used to be somewhat right-wing. I'm sure it's not anymore. Kind of like the Manchester Union Herald. Because I think the Manchester Union Herald up in New Hampshire, I think they endorsed Buchanan against George H.W. Bush. And that put everything, during the 1992 primary, and that put everything under just chaos for the Republican. Anyway, so the OC Register, he writes, oh, look at those puppies. Oh, my goodness. Is there anything cuter than a dog with his head out the window of a car? Oh, my goodness. That's so cute. Oh, I just want to go give him a hug. One time when we were in Boston, it was actually Plymouth, Massachusetts. I know, you got ADHD. I'm just going to share this story. It's funny. So let's talk about dogs. If you don't like a story about dogs, you don't belong here on my channel. You don't deserve to be here. So Liam and I, is in March, we had gone to see the Celtics play, and I said, let's go see Plymouth Rock, because I'd never seen Plymouth Rock before. If you haven't seen Plymouth Rock, you don't know what you're missing. It's funny. It's this tiny little, but it's like a brick. But anyway, so we're driving by. And but this dog was like, this guy was parked to the side of the road, and his dog was like totally like leaning out the window, like half his feet were down, his paws were down. I can't even explain it. He was like halfway out the window. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I told him, I gotta go back and take a picture of that. So he ran all the way around, drove around. I came back and said, dude, I've got to take a picture of the dog, because the dog is like, it's so cute. And the guy is just a good old Boston, Massachusetts, nice guy, just all yapping about his dog and how much he loved his dog. His dog goes everywhere. It's just, that's why I hear these people say people in the Northeast aren't very friendly. I've never noticed. I mean, are there some people who are cold? Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not friendly. But man, I've had just as much time talking to people in the Northeast, striking up a conversation, as I've had with anywhere, man. Most people are just friendly. They just are. So anyway, so going back to this, it was just so funny. So the guy just loved the fact that we took a picture of his dog. I got a picture of Liam, snuggling with him. It's just so doggone cute. Speaking of which, Kevin's taking his SAT today. Yikes, the time's come. Kevin's going to be looking at going to college next year. Yikes, it's just going to be Liam and me and Shar. Kind of creepy, man. Kind of creepy. What are we going to do? Anyway, so go back to what I'm talking about. 3 minutes in, I'm yapping here. Sorry. So this guy from the OC Register writes that unemployment in Southern California is now 6%. 6%, up from 4.9 a year ago. It's 5.4 in July, or 5.4 in June, and now it's 6% in July. And that doesn't sound good. That's what, a 15% increase in unemployment in a year in Southern California. I mean, that doesn't sound good. And then we have the revision of the BLS numbers. What, 880,000 jobs revised downward? We lost just almost 1 million jobs just gone in a poof. Yeah, I don't. This doesn't sound good, man. Look, I'm not here to bash Sniffy Joe or stupid heels up Harris. In fact, if anything, if we go into a recession next year, they're gonna blame Trump. Should he win, and the situation, I don't think looks. I just know that there's like 8 counties that are going to determine the election. Is that really a democracy? Literally, 8 counties are going to determine the election. It's crazy, something like that. I don't know, man. Whatever. I mean, what else are you going to do? I don't have any suggestions. I mean, this is the best we got, but certainly better than stupid UK, where the Labour Party wins like a significant majority, and yet they had less votes than they had last time, or something like this crazy. Anyway, so I don't know what to make of this. I just say again, if you haven't followed my advice for the last 7 years on this YouTube channel to protect the downside, I tell you, man, I was working with this guy just yesterday. Guy's crushing. We'll call him Wally. Hey Beav, remember Beaver? Is there a better show than Leave It to Beaver? No. So we call him Wally. And I just look, Wally, if you keep your portfolio, moderately aggressive, here's your probability of success, 80. If you take some downside risk off the table, your probability of success goes to 85, something like that. I can't remember exactly. He's like, why? How could that be when when your rate of return is less on the taking some downside risk off than if you had a more aggressive portfolio? I said, because the rate of return is less by let's say 50 basis points, but the risk is less by 300 basis points, and I'm just literally something like that. You see what I'm saying? So the amount of risk on the table is significantly higher than the extra rate of return you're getting. And it's one thing for me, because I need growth. You know what I'm saying? I'm a growth-oriented investor because I'm 54. I still got another 10 years. It's another thing if you're a conservative, if you're not conservative, if you're about to retire, soon to be retiree or recently retiree, you don't need growth. You need protection, man. If you haven't got growth by the time you retire, I'm not saying it's too late, but that's secondary. You got to get growth while you're working, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's why you take the risk while you're working to get growth, man. You still got some money to set aside in case you get laid off. You know, a lot of people getting laid off. Cutbacks are coming, man. I'm just telling you. It just seems like an ominous sign. Like this guy thinks he might get cut back. Talk to people all the time. A guy just emailed me yesterday. You know, it looks like he'll be cut back. I'm hearing this a lot. Now, again, this is just anecdotal from my perspective, but given what the guy from the OC Register said, you know, the unemployment in Southern California is now 6%, and that's not good, dude. You know, I mean, it used to be max employment unemployment was 5%. Max employment economics was 5%. Now, if we got 6% unemployment, that's bad, given that we've been used to 3 and 4% for the last 20 years. So, I would just say protect your downside, man, because you don't know when things are going to go south. All right, they might not. I don't know, but like I said, it seems somewhat ominous. All right, love to hear your thoughts. God bless. Smash that like button.